This is Judy Lawrence. I am going to tell you that if I were to name my story, it would probably be called Improbable, because it's improbable that all of the things that happened to me in the last 10, 11 years would have culminated in my being known as the queen of Apostilles and working all across the country and authoring books and all of that good stuff. Improbable would probably be the name of the story because it didn't seem like it was going to be like that. I was working at a law firm, a prestigious law firm in Pennsylvania. And one beautiful spring day, they told 16 of us that they would no longer need our services. And for me, that actually meant no plan, no way to make a living. I'm single, self-supporting, didn't know how that was going to work out. For the first 6 months, I totally grieved. I grieved for a life that I thought was going to be mine forever. And every time I went on a job interview, I was in my 50s. And every time I went on a job interview, they said, "Oh my goodness, you're so wonderful. You're so terrific." And then I would get the next day, I would get the letter that said, "We've decided to go in a different direction." I later found out that they were hiring 24-year-olds, 25-year-olds, never going to hire somebody in their 50s. So the story is a good one. I decided to sell my condo because I decided that if I was going to be poor and not have any money coming in, I would be better off to be a renter than an owner. And I would be better off to not have to deal with taxes and insurance and all that stuff. So I went to sell my condo. I did sell it. And a woman named Vicky came to my house to do my closing. And when Vicky left my house, I paid her $125. And when Vicky left my house, I should have said that I was a notary at the law firm, just as you all know, you can't notarize yourself. So when Vicky left, a light bulb went off and I went in my bedroom and I made a business card, and the business card was notary service 100. And that was going to be my new job. I was going to be the neighborhood notary. And I thought, I told my friends, I said, I'm going to go to hotels and places in the city, and I'm going to say, if you need a notary, I'm it. Well, that didn't last very long because I met someone who said, why are you, with all your experience in documents, why don't you do loan signings? And she hooked me up with companies, and I learned very quickly how to be a loan signer. And I started making money, and I was thrilled. I mean, I thought, oh my goodness, this is it. I made the acquaintance of a man, and he owned a company called Center City Notary. And Center City Notary was not a, there were no computers, there was no client list, there was nothing there to buy other than he had a very good name. He had an excellent name in the city. I bought the name. I went in, I digitized it. I put computers all over. I fixed it up. I made it great. And Center City Notary took off right away. It did. There was like no waiting period. It started the first day. I'm also in a building with, I think 400 or 500 offices in the building. So I do remember this. We had a soft pretzels and lemonade, and we made a party right on the floor. And people kept coming up, and we gave them cards, and we said, we're here, and we took off right away. The next two things happened. One thing happened was Apostilles came into play, and I decided that I should learn them because everyone was calling for them and I didn't know how to do them. So I learned them, and that added a real good addition to my income stream. And the second thing was I did a podcast with a guy that you all know by the name of Bill Soroka. And because Bill is so well known, and because the podcast was so good, it was an incredibly good one. I think Bill said it was like one of his most watched podcasts. I'm not sure about that, but I think that's what he said. And that opened up the doors for me to lots of people, lots of things, lots of people who said, can you come speak, and can you do this, and can you do that? So my name got out there. I think I owe a great deal of that to Bill. I also would have to thank Daniel Lewis, because in 2018, I wrote a book with Daniel. And not only was the book a success, but then I went to my first NNA conference, and because Daniel was the Notary of the Year, and because he's so well liked and respected by the NNA, I kind of walked in his shoes following him. And I got to meet a lot of wonderful people and have spoken many times for the NNA since. So it was a culmination of things that happened to get me to where I am. So your question would have to be, what do you think I have to do? Your question would be to me, what do you think I have to do to be successful? And I'm going to tell you, it's a lot of hard work. You can't expect to become a notary or a loan signing agent and in 20 minutes snap your fingers and you're going to be making $100,000 a year. You have to work at it. You have to work weekends. Sometimes you have to work evenings. You have to make sure your social media is in order. You have to have a great website. You have to have all of the different, and it's harder today. It's harder today than it was when I started. I remember when I started, and Dari, I made my first website with him, and I remember saying to him, well, we won't have to do this for a really long time. And he said, yes, you will. And we probably updated it 10 times in the past 10 years, because when new things happen, you want to get in there and let people know. And I'm a wedding officiant. I have Lynn, where I teach apostilles. I'm an educator rather, to teach people how to become a notary in Pennsylvania. I'm an author. So each time that you do something, you've got to let people know you're doing it, because if they don't know you're doing it, they're not going to call you, and you're not going to be the one that they are going to look for. So I often tell people, you have to sit down and look at your life. Do you have small children? Do you have a partner that would like you to be home on weekends? What does your life look like? And how much time can you put into it? And what kind of financial investment are you able to make? Now, for me, I didn't have to make that much of a financial investment, so I was pretty lucky about that. But sometimes you do. And sometimes you have to spend a little money to make a little money. So these are all the things that I would look at and then decide what you want to do. And the last thing that I will say, hopefully not the last thing I'll ever say, but the last thing I'll say on this video is, notaries have opportunities today that are limitless. There's an amazing amount of things that notaries can do. Notaries can be loan signing agents, mobile notaries, virtual run notaries, field inspectors, wedding officiants, you name it, apostille agents, I-9 verifications. There's so many things that a notary can do right now to diversify and not depend on just one thing. So another thing I would suggest to notaries is don't pick them all, but pick two. Pick two things that you think would you like to do. And then maybe wait 4 months and see what that 4 months brings you. If you pick general notaries and Ron, or Ron and Apostilles, but pick two. Don't pick all 13 or 14 of them, because you know the old expression, jack of all trades, master of none. So pick two and see if it works for you. See if the niche is your niche. And if not, 3 months, 4 months later, pick two more. Just wait until it clicks for you and you're comfortable and you're making the kind of money you want to make. Base this on your availability. You know, my hat goes off to many, many, many of these notaries who work like I do all day. I'm a working notary. They work all day and then they go home and they take care of kids and have to do homework and schoolwork and pack lunches and get everything ready for the next day. So you have to know your own availability too. What can you do? How much can you give? And weigh it all out carefully. Talk it over with your partner, if you have one, or your best friends, or whomever you respect, and make a decision based upon what you feel is going to work for you. And then if you've made the wrong decision or you've gone a little bit off to a direction that doesn't work for you, you can always change it. You can always move into a different direction. So that was my story. I feel that I am a very lucky person. I feel that I'm very blessed. I appreciate everyone that supported me and still continues to support me. Bill and Laura and Jen and Patricia and Amy. I don't know who I'm forgetting. Dari, I don't know who I'm forgetting, but all of these people, and then they're, you know, they continue to support you. Sue, my dear friend, Sue Hope, Notary Assist, all these people, I wouldn't be sitting here today if not for their encouragement and the fact that they always are there to, you know, talk to me about maybe the next step for me or changing steps or whatever. So make sure that you pick the right mentors, pick the right buddies that you can talk things over with. And me, if you need me, my phone number is 215-870-3103. I will always be available for a quick chat to help you if I can. So I want to thank Dari for supporting me all these years and for putting this video on his website. And thank you, Dari, and thank you to you all. And let's hope we all continue to succeed. I always close everything out by saying your success is mine. So thank you. And in 2021, I wrote a book with my dear friend, Matt Miller. The book is the reference handbook for Apostilles, and certainly could not have asked for a better writing partner. And the book is constantly being referred to as the best reference guide of right now. So thank you to Matt.